That's nice with flash.
Yeah, very good. Good morning, students. Very good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ganesh. So, have we gone through the code now platform? Have we gone through the code now? I already updated the videos also. So, what are the lectures we are taking as of now? All the lectures I have uploaded. Code now. So, if you have any problem, you can bring to me. Okay. If you get any problem while downloading or anything, just make a note to me so that we'll rectify that. Yeah. So if any person is not mapped like that, if you have any such problems, please. Okay. So everything we have given there. Still, whatever the video completes, that also update the video. Okay. So now coming to the last class. Today we are going to complete this unit. Okay, only 2 topics are left over. Those things will complete. And the numericals also will start. Okay. So now, in the last class, what we have seen, only 37 students have joined. So we'll wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. We'll see. Okay, meanwhile, if you have any problems, any questions, any suggestions, meanwhile, if you have anything, you can. YouTube videos, right? Which video you have seen? Some message I have given. The videos which I have given, all are HD videos only. You might have seen somebody else, I think. The same notes which I am doing here, the same thing I uploaded. Please check, because already I checked in YouTube also. They're playing perfectly. Okay, check either your bandwidth might be slow like that. Please check that. Right. 58 have joined as of 39. No problem. Shall I start? Okay. So in the last class, we have seen 2 topics. So one is we have seen about one topic. One topic we have seen, that is what? Relation between what we have covered in the last class. Relation between current density and charge density. Correct? Current density and charge density. These 2 things we have seen. Okay. So in this case, in this topic, what we got the relation in this. So that means we have to take one volume element, volume surface we have to take, and from that volume we have to consider one of the plane should be taken as the one surface. With respect to that, the total charge present over it should be calculated. With respect to that, we have to get the current density. That means how the current density will be taken over it. And with respect to current density, we can work it out. And that means the current flowing through this any volume element, how it will go and how the current density will be generated. Those all things we have seen. Okay. So here what the relation we got, that I would like to show to you. So what we got at the last, we got the relation between J and rho V as like this. J is equal to what we got the expression already. You might have written in your notes, running notes, right? J is equal to rho into V, where rho is the charge density or V is the velocity of charge along particular direction. In our concept, we have taken that along x-axis. So we can say that velocity of that particular charge along, we can say, right? So this was the topic which we have seen with the diagram, and diagram also I given to you clearly. Even the video also I uploaded. Please go through that video. So if you get any doubt, you can ask to me, or you can write to me, or you can text to me. No problem. Okay, I will help you. Right? And what is the charge current density? Current density will be current passing per unit surface. That already you know. So based on that concept, we have written. Next, after this topic, next another topic we have seen. What is the topic we have seen? The last class. Anybody can please respond. We've seen the other topic. After this, we have seen about another topic. What is that? Continuity equation. So continuity. So continuity equation here, what we have seen. No, before continuity equation, we have seen Poisson's and Laplace, right? Poisson's and Laplace. Okay, what I covered that I will follow. Poisson's and Laplace equation. In homogeneous dielectric. This is a very important question. Homogeneous dielectric. Okay. Dielectric. So this topic we have seen. Right. So in this, what we have got, we got the relation. So that means which type of relation you got. Anybody can repeat what we have discussed in the last class. We got the relation here in this Poisson's equation as we have used all the definitions of current density, energy density, this and displacement current density, flux density. These things we have used and we have got the expression in this way. How you got? And by using some divergence theorem also we have used. And with the concepts of displacement current density, electric field intensity, all these, we got del dot D is equal to rho V or rho. Del dot D is equal to rho we got. And then later on, we expanded this expression as del dot D can also be written as del dot epsilon naught E, correct? So this also I shown to you, and here this should be equal to rho we have written. And already we know in terms of potential, we have the relation between E and B. That relation is E, since E is equal to minus del B, right? And this also we have taken, and because this we have taken with respect to isotropic medium, and now we are going to write in terms of homogeneous dielectric. So for that purpose, here we have to write this expression should, this if I write in epsilon naught, then it should be free space. If I don't do, then it should be for a particular dielectric medium. Now take this and substitute in the place of E. So that means this expression can be written as epsilon into del E is equal to rho. And even del dot E, this E value also can be replaced with terms del V. This part we have done epsilon into del of minus del V is equal to rho. And this expression we have written this as del square V is equal to minus rho, this is minus rho by epsilon. Right? This we have written. This also I shown in the right. So this is called the Poisson's equation. Okay, it's called Poisson's equation. If suppose there is no any free charge present in that particular medium, then there will be no any charge density. Correct? If there is no free charge present in that particular medium, then our charge density will become 0. Then this becomes 0. Then our expression, that is del square V is equal to 0. Correct? So this is called our second Maxwell equation. Okay. What is the first Maxwell equation I given to you? First Maxwell equation is E dot D or E dot ds is equal to, correct? So this will be treated as a first Maxwell equation in terms of with respect to Gauss law. And this also we have written with respect to current density, energy density, in terms of potential, everything, del square V is equal to 0, or this expression can also be written as del dot E is also equal to 0, right? So these are the two Maxwell equations. Anyway, we'll see all these Maxwell equations, the Maxwell equations topic. Okay. So as of now, we got this, we have seen. And what is the other topic we have seen in the last class? The other topic we have seen in the last class, that is continuity equation, right? Continuity. Just I'm recalling to start the new topic. So here I'm putting this. Here I will write. I'll write here. This expression can also be written as del square V is equal to minus rho. Okay. This is called our Poisson's application. So what is the third topic we have seen? Continuity. So these are the three topics which we have seen in the last class. So in continuity equation, what I said here, we have to take with respect to particular, means we have to take some assumptions. Suppose some current is flowing through any closed surface, some diagram we have seen, right? And in this, what you got with all these definitions, energy density, current density, with all this, what we got the expression that is close, and even by the divergence theorem also we used, and we got the expression that is closed integral, so means closed integral or closed surface J dot ds should be equal to what we got minus d by dt of integral volume integral rho v dv. Right? This we got. And next what we did, after this, again, we converted that expression in terms of time varying, because now slowly we are moving on to time varying fields, because it is very important, because we are going to start the electromagnetic waves. So as of now, we are in electrostatics only. In the second unit, we are going to see about magnetostatics, then combinedly electromagnetic wave, how it going to spread, that we are going to see. Right? So in the similar way, how this continue. First of all, with respect to the charges, how a continuity equation will be generated in terms of time varying. So in that case, now after simplifying this with the help of same divergence theorem and all, we have written this expression as del dot J is equal to minus dou rho V by dou P. Right? See here, there is a change. That means with respect to time varying fields, which I said, this part we have seen. But we can't believe that this is the final expression. After seeing magnetostatics also, there should be some ambiguity in this continuity equation. What is that? That part should be avoided with help of Faraday's law. With help of Faraday's law. So that will be treated as the Maxwell's fourth equation that we see in magnetostatics. Okay, I will show that clearly in Maxwell equation as well as in magnetostatics too. Okay, so this del dot J, that means current density, how it is going to vary with respect to time. Because actually already we know current density is directly equal to rho, already we know, because from here expression also already we got J is equal to rho, right? In the similar way, how this is wrong and what is that ambiguity and what is the ambiguity and how it should be resolved, this part, uncertainty, actually we call it as uncertainty in continuity equation. What is that uncertainty? That should be calculated in the once we complete magnetostatics. Okay, if I say now, but actually now it is not there in the syllabus. Up to here only you have. From here, whatever you got, that we are written. Right? In the next, as we'll see in the next topic, that means in the second, after completing the second unit, we'll see that. Okay. At the end of the second unit, we'll say. Okay. These are the three topics which we have covered in the last class. So just after recalling, if you have any questions, please raise your question. We'll discuss. Otherwise, put the heading. So these are the topics we have covered in the last class. So now today's topic we are going to see about, that is, okay. So what I said in the last class, we have to see the point form of Ohm's law as well as what is the other one? Relation between potential difference, how point form means Ohm's law will be derived with the help of electric field and potential difference. So these things we are going to see. Okay. Now, please put heading everyone. Put heading everyone. Point form of Ohm's law. Okay. Put heading everyone. Now today we are going to see about topic we are going to see is point form of Ohm's law. Point form of Ohm's law. Okay. So if you have any questions, as of I just recalled yesterday's topic. If you have any question, if we'll discuss. If don't, then we'll move. Okay. And now this topic we are going to see point form of Ohm's law for conductor. That means if any conductor is there, how this point form of Ohm's law will be written. So now for this, just for understanding purpose, what I'm doing here, I'm taking a conducting material. Okay. And I'm assuming that there should be some external electric field to be applied onto that particular conductor. And then here with respect to that particular conductor, how it should be and how the free flow of electrons will be present in that material. And with respect to the free flow of electrons, whichever is present in that, how the force will be taken place. It means how these materials, these free flow of electrons generate a force that will be written. So that means what I assume here, let us assume some conducting material in free space, some conducting material in free space. And here conducting material, we are saying conducting material means there will be free flow of electrons which already present in this, correct? Free flow of electrons already present in this, correct or not? If any conducting material means conducting materials are there, that means what happens when you apply some external energy to this, that means if you apply some external energy to this, then what happens? Then automatically the free flow of electrons start moving, correct? You accept with this or not? So with that, what happens? There will be exist some force. Okay. So when you apply some external energy, they experience some force due to the fast movement of electrons, free electrons, which are present in this. So here I'm denoting free electrons will be denoted with E, small e, and the electric field intensity which I applied to this is capital E. Then the force experienced due to the materials which present over in this particular material can be written as F is equal to, here the negative means the electrons will be always starts from negative. So here electrons, with respect to electron, I'm writing this as negative charge. So that is negative electron into E. That's why I'm putting here minus. Okay, minus E, capital E. Right. So here you can write where E is the, already I said, electric field, applied electric field, and E is nothing but the charge of electron. It's nothing but the electron. So now what I said, there is a free flow of electrons. So that means due to this impact of force, what happens there? The electron moves and accelerates. The electron moves and accelerates from one place to another place and throughout this. So whenever they move, so they attains a velocity. Correct or not? They attains a average velocity, and that velocity already you learned in your first year. What is that velocity will be called? It is happening due to drift motion, due to drift motion of electrons. So due to drift movement, we can call that velocity as drift velocity. So this should be denoted by D. Okay, already you know that is a basic in electronics, electronic devices and circuits you might have learned. In simple PN junction diode you might have learned, or the conduction, how a free flow of electron will be takes place after applying a external energy or anything, correct? Or potential external energy. So that is called drift velocity. That means it attains some average velocity. That average velocity will be called as drift velocity. Okay, so this is about the force which is generated due to the free flow of electrons when you apply some external energy. So this is okay, fine. I got force. Now, why actually we are going to use this drift velocity? Because here, whenever you do the mobility, means the mobility of electrons, whenever you apply some external energy, because it is with respect to the force with respect to electrons, we can write that we got. But when you want to write for the whole drift velocity, so I want to put this drift velocity in terms of mobility of all the electrons, correct? Mobility of average, because I have taken the average velocity of this, which I called it as drift velocity. Then I'm going to write this drift velocity in terms of mobility of electrons, and that should be mobility of electrons will be denoted by, sorry, mu E. Already you know mu E. So this mu is the mobility of electrons, and it should be constant throughout the with such particular material, whatever the conducting material you have used. So that means the mobility of all these material which we have used is mu E. So now I can write the drift velocity can be written as minus mu E. That means drift velocity, that means mobility of charge carriers into the electric field applied. Okay, so when you apply this electric field, then this much of average velocity has been taken place with respect to the mobility of electrons. So with respect to this, we know we are written. So from this concept is fine. Now, what actually we are going to do? We are going to get the point form of Ohm's law. So when you want to do this, how we have to get that? Already we know the Ohm's law can be denoted with some letter. But how we have to come to that? How we have to come to that means here, when we have the mobility of charge carriers, with respect to this mobility of charge carriers, what will be the charge density here? The charge density with respect to these electrons can be denoted by rho E, right? So here I'm going to write from the relation, then means from the relation between J and rho V. Already we know what is that relation we have. That relation we have, that is J is equal to rho into velocity, rho V into V. So this velocity is called drift velocity with this particular conducting material where we are applying. So therefore the current density can be written as with respect to rho V into dV. But here already we know the definition we have written here. But now this rho will be treated with respect to the charge density with respect to the mobility of charges, mobility of electrons. So we can replace this by rho E into VD. Now already we have the VD. So take the value of VD and substitute here. What is the value of VD? Here we have. So I'm just replacing the values. Just see here, J is equal to rho E into VD means minus mobility of electrons into applied electric field will be written. And from here, I can write this expression as J is equal to, what you got? J is equal to minus mu E into rho capital. So this is called the total current density with the material, this particular material, when you apply some extra electric field. Okay, now this is fine. Now I want to say to you all, that is this mu E and rho E, this is called the total, what we can say, this is called the this mobility. Already you learned in your physics also, I think so, engineering physics or applied physics. Rho E, that means charge density into the mobility of charge carriers, mobility of charge carriers or electrons, mobility of electrons. That means this is called, we can say it is called the conductivity of that particular material. It will be called as conductivity of that material, conductivity of that particular material which we used. Okay, some conductive material. So here the conductivity of this particular material will be denoted as rho E into minus mu E will be denoted in terms of sigma. How conductivity will be denoted? Conductivity will be denoted with the term, that is symbol is called sigma. Now I'm replacing this constant terms with respect to sigma, and then I'm writing my current density. Now it becomes as J is equal to sigma into E. Sigma is called the conductivity of that material with help of the free electrons which were present in that particular. It is called the point form of Gauss law. How we, okay. So what is that now? Expression J is equal to sigma E. This is called point form of Ohm's law. Already you learned in your intermediate, or you learned in your first year EDC, or in your engineering physics also, right? They might be used some other different derivations, but here already with respect to the electrostatic, means with respect to the charges, with respect to the electrons, how we have to write that we have seen. And just I used only the relation between current density and charge density that I have taken. And then because this already we know. So in this, what is the unknown term, that is VD? How we have to get that? For that purpose, here we have taken the assumption that we have taken a conducting material in free space. In that conducting material, we applied some external electric field to that. Once we applied some electric field, what happened? Whatever the free flow of electrons present over here, they get charged and they get flow. They can move fastly and they produce, due to the mobility of electrons, they move that and they produce. And with respect to these electrons which were present over there, that we, with the charge density with respect to those electrons will be rho E. Right? So with respect to this, we have written the average attained, average velocity attained due to these free mobility of electrons will be written, and that should be written as minus mu E into E. Only this part we have taken, and yeah, okay. So that part we have taken. This is ends of total point form of Ohm's law for conductors. Okay, any questions, please? If you have any question, you can raise. If it is clear, then I'll move to the next topic, that is we are going to see about derive Ohm's law. Now we are going to derive Ohm's law from, that means by using potential difference and current. By using potential difference and current. Okay, so anybody having any questions, please? If you don't have any questions, we'll do. So I'm going to get the next topic about this. So in another 10 minutes, this link is going to close. By that time, I will complete the diagrammatical part, and the explanation part I will complete, and derivation also maximum time. Okay. So please join with the same link. Put the heading, everyone. Next, put the heading, derive Ohm's law. Derive Ohm's law. Derive Ohm's law by using potential difference and current. by using potential difference and current. By using potential difference and I will write anyway again, please, without wasting time. So I have written. So here the next topic we are going to see, and the final topic in this, that is derive Ohm's law by using what I said, potential difference, by using potential difference. Potential difference. What is potential difference? V A B. Okay, and potential difference sign. What I said. Okay, so this part now we are going to see. For this, what we have to do. So here, everyone, please recall what is actual Ohm's law, what you learned in your basic, in your intermediate or anywhere. What you learned, how with same term, potential difference V. Whenever you see this V and I, you may reflect in your mind, correct? What is that? What is the potential difference in terms of V, I, and one more term? What is that term? V and I, and one more term is there. What is that? Okay, from your circuit theory, if you say circuit theory, or from your basic physics, what we can write V is equal to IR, correct? This is from the circuit theory, already we know, correct? This is called Ohm's law. Now I'm going to derive this by using potential difference and current. How? So in this case, what I'm going to do this, okay? And for this, we required the point form of Ohm's law, what we have taken. And with the help of that, we'll work it out. But before that, what I have to do means, first of all, we have to consider some conducting material. So here, what I'm doing, here I'm assuming some metallic cylinder I'm taking and I'm placing in the free space, in a particular medium or free space. So here, just draw everyone. I'm taking a cylinder, okay, metallic cylinder I've taken, and just draw everyone. Meanwhile, don't waste the time. So here I've taken a cylinder. This is a cylinder I've taken, okay? And the length of the cylinder will be right here. The length of the cylinder I'm assuming is some L, is the length of the cylinder. And here I'm taking 2 points on the either side of the faces. And here one is I'm denoting with A, and other side I'm denoting with B. And now the current flowing through this will be, I'm assuming some current I. I current is flowing through this, and the surface area of the cylinder I'm denoting with some S. And here the current which is coming out also should be same, correct or not? Whatever the current you are in, the same current should flow outward, correct? And due to the flow of this current, there will be some uniform electric field will be generated with respect to the flow of current, and that is also along this direction. And at the same time, here the current density with respect to the current which is flowing through this also will be taken in the same direction. Okay, so this is about the current density. So this is about the just assumption I have taken. So what I'm saying here, the current passing through this cylinder be I, and also electric field is B, and along with the electric field, the current density with respect to the current flowing I also should be taken along the direction of. This is taken, and the surface area of the cylinder, the cross sectional or the surface area of the cylinder will be taken as yes. Okay. Now, so here where the points we are taken, and with respect to the current flowing through this, from the basic definition of current density, we can write. Okay, we can write I is equal to closed integral, right? I is our surface integral. What we have the expression already we have seen J dot ds. Correct or not? J dot ds. And here we can also write this expression as after simplifying. How we got this one? Already we done this, right? Already we have done in the previous class, right? I is equal to. So same I have taken. How I taken? With the help of basic definition of current density. How we define current density? Here I can write current density will be defined as J. Current density is defined as the current passing the unit surface area or unit area. So here it is ds. From here only I have written. Okay. So from here I written the total current flowing through this. I written as integral I applied, and I written I is equal to total surface area into total integral into J dot ds. correct? Now the total cross section or surface area of this I've taken as yes, and here if I expand this, then this expression will become as J into surface area ds, and here you can write this directly as J into S. I is equal to J into S. Correct? We got. Now, if suppose here already, that means in the assumption itself, I assume that E and J are uniform. Correct or not? Already we assume these two are uniform. That means with respect to the flow of current. Correct? So when these two are uniform, then how this expression should be written? So that means when these two are uniform, then we have the relation. This is about current we got, right? I is equal to J into S. Now, I'm going to write here itself, I'm going to write potential difference between the two endpoints A and B, the potential difference between two endpoints A and B. So how we'll write? Already we have the relation between E and B, already we done, or even if you see the derivation of potential difference, what we got, VAB, VAB is equal to what we got, minus integral B to A E dot dl, E dot dl, because the length of the cylinder is L. So if I take the current passing through this is the axis line. If I take, then the current flowing that, then the potential difference between the 2 points A and B will be written as minus into B to A, integral B to A and E dot dl. That is again from the potential difference definition. And now from here also, I'm going to write this expression as minus, I'm taking E as outside, minus B to A, E into integral dl. Correct? Now, after simplification, what will get here? Just I'm writing here. How will get? So here I'm writing this expression VAB should be written as, how will write, minus E and integral of dl, it should be dx, it should be x, then it should be written as L, and I'm writing L into VA after substituting the limits. Right? If I substitute, if I change this limit, then I can also write VAB should be equal to E LAB. Correct? So we can replace, no problem. Then the total potential difference we got is V is equal to A into L. So our generally we can also write V is equal to E L, this cylinder, okay, of length, yeah. Because E and J already we are taken as uniform. These two are uniform. Now from here already we have I is equal to Js, correct? And from this expression, what I'm going to do, just observe here, from this expression, I is equal to Js, what I'm doing, just I'm going to write J is equal to by current passing per unit surface, right? Now, already from the point form of Ohm's law, point form of Ohm's law. So from point form of Ohm's law, what we know, form of Ohm's law, what we know? We know that J is equal to sigma, correct or not? J is equal to sigma. So I'm substituting this J value here. So that means this expression will become as I by S should be equal to sigma into E, right? But already we know E is equal to, from this expression we can write E is equal to V by L, and I'm taking this value and substituting in the place of E, then it should be written as I by S is equal to sigma into V by L. Just you should have the knowledge of all the expressions. That's why I said you have to practice. In another 1 minute, it's going to close. Just note it down, and we'll do the continuation part in the next link. Okay, join with the same link. Okay, we'll complete this. Okay, join with the same link. I request everyone. This is going to close. Complete the expressions which I have done, which you have to help me again if we start. Okay, so this is the expression. Note it down, everyone. Okay, completed. So once this close, please join with Meanwhile, students are joining. So if you have any questions, please ask your questions. Anybody having any question, please? We are discussing about deriving Ohm's law. Again, I no need to put the heading. So what we got the expression in the last? We got the expression as J is equal to my E we are taken, and we substituted J as J is equal to what we have substituted. J is equal to I by S we have substituted I by S. This should be equal to sigma into E. So here you have to write, since J, I is equal to Js, from here we can write J is equal to S. Like this you have to. Okay. Don't take much critical, okay, and don't put all tediously. Easily, how what actually required, just go straight forward. What do you want and how it should be put it on paper. Okay. So here, after this, what we have done next, after this, I by S is equal to, sorry, I by S, yeah, sigma E, and in the place of E, what we have substituted? In the place of sigma E, we have substituted V by L. Yeah, somebody is saying, yeah, please. Somebody is saying, would you having any question? Somebody is saying, anybody having any question? Somebody is saying, please ask, no problem. Any question you have? So we got the expression, that is this part we have done, right? I by S is equal to sigma into V by L. This is expression, right? Sorry. Okay, V by now. So already initially we have taken that from circuit theory, V is equal to IR, correct? So V is equal to IR, we know already, and this should be written as V by I is equal to, correct? This part we know, correct or not? So in the similar way, here I'm going to write that as like this. If I want to put just a cross multiplication, I want to get in this form, V by I. So how should I do? Just I am taking I to this side, or I to be taken this side, and L will be taken this side, sigma should be taken this side. Then what happens? So it should be written as V by I is equal to, V by I should be written as V by I is equal to L by sigma. Yes, L by sigma. Just I simplified this, right? V by I, and we can write this V by I is equal to R, right? So that means R is equal to V by I is equal to L by sigma. Yes, L by sigma. Yes, correct. So this is the expression we got. So this is nothing but what actually the Ohm's law already we know. So in that format, we have extracted that form from these expressions, from these definitions. From these definitions, we extracted that relation. Correct? Correct or not? Everyone will obey with my words or not? Correct. Then R is equal to V by I is equal to L by sigma S. So this is called the Ohm's law, which we have derived from the basic definitions of potential difference and electric field. Okay, or current density. This part we are doing. Now, if you want to write, so here in if you want to put in terms of total integral notation, and if you want to do some numericals, then how we have to use this. So here in the similar way, so here goes in this. So here you can put, since V is equal to IR, here you can write, and from here R is equal to I. I'm putting here itself. Right. So this is what we have seen. Ohm's law we have derived. Now, fine. So when you write this, actually, what is the expression? R is equal to V by I, we are saying. But actually, what is the expression of potential difference? Already we got, that is minus integral B to A E dot dl. Correct? B to A dl. Integral E dot dl. Correct? Integral E dot dl. So then what about current? Current also already we know. How current we got? Current we got from like this. How we got? J dot. It means the same. Already we written the same expressions. Correct? So that should be written as integral J dot ds. Correct? Like this. Huh? So in this way, we have to work it out. So see how easily we have done. So this means already we know all, right or not? The same expressions. And even you want to put this, you can also put this in this way. The same expression what you have got in the similar expressions you can put. So you can write this as E dot dl and J also can be taken. And same expression, whatever you got in the similar expression, you can. Okay. If you want in detail, you can also put that as minus integral B to A E. Again, if you want to write E dot dl, you can write E dot dl, or if you want to change this also in terms of third terms, you can do, but that they will ask in numericals. And J means current density Ohm's law, point form of Ohm's law will be written as sigma E, right? Again, if you simplify this, again, you'll get the expression of which one? Sigmas, correct? So this is called which we have derived Ohm's law with the help of potential difference and correct? Potential difference and any questions, please? We have derived Ohm's law with the help of potential difference and current with the basic definitions. Already all are the basic definitions which we have seen in the previous classes. So there is no any tedious, there is no need to confusion, anything. Just step by step you have to do. Correct? So with this, I wind up, and if I go through the syllabus, so the topics, whichever are available, all the topics I have completed. So just I read it out. If anything is missed, please tell me. So I've taken the syllabus, Coulomb's law, electric field intensity, fields due to different charge distributions also we have done, flux density we have done, Gauss law, and applications of electric field intensity we have seen. Next, Gauss law and applications. Even Gauss law we have seen, applications also we have seen, electric potential difference we have seen, and the relation between E and V we have seen, that is called potential and field strength, that also we have completed. And even the notes also I shared. Please go through the code now. If you have any query, you can write to me or you can text to me. Okay, I will help you. And Maxwell two equations for electrostatic fields, already I said. One is already I said E is equal to, that means simple I said, closed integral E dot ds should be equal to Q by epsilon naught. That is one. And the other one I have shown, that is del square V is equal to 0. Next, energy density we have seen, and then convention and conduction currents, dielectric constant, isotropic, and homogeneous dielectric. This part I shown to you in detail in the form of linearity, isotropic, and homogeneous. Okay, linearity, isotropic, and homogeneous. That part we have seen, and not only that, we have seen the conduction Ohm's law and the other conduction current also we have seen Ohm's law in continuity equation, which supports that. That also we have completed in homogeneous dielectric. After that, continuity equation and relaxation time. Poisson's and Laplace equations we have completed. Okay, so these are the topics, and we have to see numericals. Okay, I will give model 1-1-2-2 model 2-2 problems on one particular model I will give, and with those models you can work it out. Okay, I'll give the numericals also, and meanwhile I will share the important questions also, and not only important questions. Already every time I used to say, see here, if you see your syllabus, it will be divided into two types. That means two parts. Questions will be raised from first topic to Gauss law, means up to electric potential and relation between E and V, like nothing but Maxwell equations, two equations for electrostatic fields. Up to here, they will consider as part one, and they will ask one question from there. And second part, they will consider as energy density to Poisson's and Laplace equation. So in that way, I will give the important questions also. And even numericals also will do in that way. So it is easy to each and every student who attended my classes to answer. Correct? So any question if they ask, you can ready to write. Correct? But practice is required. So what I said, I said this Saturday, or otherwise not this week. Coming week we will work it out. Okay. Meanwhile, I will share the objective type questions to you all. Please go through the questions, and even assignment questions I will give it to you. And I will give you 4 questions. Out of 4 questions, I will ask you to write 2 questions in the class. Okay. As I said, what do you say? So you suggest me what we'll do. Students, this is my plan. I'll give 4 questions and I'll ask you to write 1 or 2 questions in the class, because each and every student also get practice. Okay. So it will be helpful for them. Each and every student it will help. Right. So what do you plan? What do you think? Please suggest, any one of you. No? Is it okay for what I'm going to give? Or if you have any idea, you can share. Few students are saying okay. And if you have anything, you can chat in the chat box. Otherwise, you can say, unmute yourself and you can speak. Is that okay, or what you require? Or only 2 questions I have to give and you'll read 2 questions. Once 2 completes, again I have to give 2 questions. That your choice. I'm giving to you what you need. 4 questions I'll give and I will ask you to write 1 or 2 questions in the class. Okay, I will ask you to on videos and you have to write with words. Like that we'll do, because I'm giving you time. This today, if I give, I will ask again next Saturday. Okay, not this coming Saturday. Okay, I'll give around 10 days of time. What do you want? Is that okay? Or only 4 days of time or 3 days of time? Sir, you can give 2 questions, we'll read, and again, out of 2, you can ask 1 question, we'll write. Your wish. Which one is better for you? Which one is better for you? I'm asking, I'm taking your decisions, please. Okay, or otherwise in our group is there now, you can post there. Okay, I will post the questions also there, or if you want, I will announce now, or otherwise I will post there. Okay, questions, that will be better. I'll post the questions there. Sir, give 4 questions and we'll write 1 or 2 questions as. Okay, good. So I got 1 like this. So if you accept this, then I will share the questions in the group. So that based on those questions, we can do. Okay. So practice is very important. I will give questions like this. First, we'll complete the first part. Next, we'll see the second part. Like that we'll do. Okay. From first unit syllabus up to Maxwell 2 equations will be considered as a part 1. And from energy density to Poisson's and Laplace equation will be taken as a part 2. So from the first part 1, I'll give 4 questions. Is it okay? From that part 1, I'll give 4 questions from you can practice, and I will ask anyone or 1 or 2 questions in the class you have to write. Okay. So again, later, no one should say, sir, we don't have the time. We didn't get any time, like that. Okay. Either I will give 3 or 2, 4 questions I will give. Okay. In the chat box, in the WhatsApp group, I will give. Is it okay to you all? So numericals, how we'll do? Can I share the PDF to you all, or we'll work it out in the class? That'll better. I think I will dictate the question and we'll work it out in the class. That'll better, what I feel. Because 2 classes are enough. I'll cover 2 or 3 classes. By this week, we'll complete the numericals also. Okay. So based on that, I'll give the numericals and we'll see 2 models. And the remaining I will share with you all. You can do in your free time. Is it okay to you all? Please respond. Is this okay? So again, 1 o'clock class will be taken by, already I said, Srinivas sir is taking. Saturday, I will take the second one. Okay. Right. So thank you all. Okay. No, another 5 minutes time is there. If you have any questions, please, you can ask. Ganesh, you can save the attendance. Yeah, another 5 minutes time is there. Please discuss if you have any question. Material already I shared, right? So any questions, please? Please respond. Dikshita, Ravali, Siri, Pavan, Rohit, Bakula Rohit. If you have any question, please respond. Ganesh or Akshita, Rizwana. Anyone?
Clear, sir.
Yeah, no questions. Good. Okay, the way which we have taken, that's okay. Richa, is that okay? Numericals and exam pattern also, how we work it out. Is this okay, right? See, when I ask, you can also give your views. It's not wrong because you will be busy with your trainings, classes, and all. Okay, but for this, especially for this subject, practice is very important. While listening, it seems to be easy only. But when I ask you to put pen on paper, you'll get a problem. That's why once or twice you have to be required practice. Okay. So any suggestions, please? You can talk to me, no problem. 5 minutes time is there. No? Okay, people are doing message. Okay, thank you. So what we do, we'll wind up. Okay, then stay home, stay safe. Okay, take care of yourself. Right. Thank you all. Can I share me the attendance? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.